Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamathiravana Chari Yamathiravana Chari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Ram Ram Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Hari Gopijana Vallabha Giridhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamunatiravana Chari Yamunatiravana Chari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Hare Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Bhagavata ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to morning Bhagavatam class, ISKCON Seshadripuram. And on the special day, Narasimha Chaturdashi today. And so let us all pray for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narasimhadev, to remove all our obstacles. Hare Krishna. We'll share the verses, then we will get in. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी. And today's verses, third chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 25th chapter, and verse number 28 and 29. So let us read both the verses and both the purport translation, then we will get into the detail. Hare Krishna. Devatirvacha Pachvitvaya Yuchita Bhaktihi Kidrishi Mama Gochara Yaya Padam Te Nirvanam Ajaswana Ajwas. Hare Krishna. Sorry for this technical difficulty. Hare Krishna. Devatirvacha Kachitvaya Uchita Bhaktihi Idrishi Mama Gochara Yaya Padmate Nirvanam Ajnasa Anvasnava Aham. Devatirvacha Kachitvaya Uchita Bhaktihi Idrishi Mama Gochara Yaya Padam Te Nirvanam Ajnasa Anvasnava Aham. Devatirvacha Kaschvitvaya Uchita Bhaktihi Kidrishi Mama Gochara Yaya Padam Te Nirvanam Ajasa Anvasnava Aham. More time. Devatirvacha Kachitvaya Uchita Bhaktihi Kidrishi Mama Gochara Yaya Padmate Nirvanam Ajnasaya Anvasnava Aham. Synonyms. Word translation. Devuti Uvacha. Devuti said, Pachit, what? Tvayi, unto you. Uchita, proper. Bhaktihi, devotional service. Kidrishi, what kind? Mama, by me. Gochara, fit to be practiced. Yaya, by which. Padam, feet. Te, your. Nirvanam, liberation. Ajnasa, immediately. Anvasnavi, Vasnavai, shall attain. Aham, I. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. On hearing the statement of the Lord, Devahuti inquired what kind of devotional service is worth developing and practicing to help me easily and immediately attain the service of your lotus feet. Purport. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that no one is barred from rendering service to the Lord, whether one is a woman or a laborer or a merchant. If he engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, he is promoted to the highest perfectional stage and goes back home, back to Godhead. The devotional service most suitable for different types of devotees in determined and fixed by the mercy of the spiritual master. We'll move to the next sloka. 29th sloka. Yo yogo bhagavad bhanu nirvanatmam tayoditaha kidrisha kati changani yatas tattva avobadanam. Yo yogo bhagavad bhanu Nirvanatmas Tvayoditaha Kidrisha Kati Changani Yatas Tattva Avobadhanam Yo Yogo Bhagavad Bhano Nirvanatmas Tvayoditaha Kidrisha Kati Changani Yatas Tattva Avobadhanam. What word meaning? Yeah, which yoga, mystic yoga process. Bhagavat Banaha, aiming at the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nirvana Atman, O embodiment of Nirvana. Tvaya, by you. Uditaha, explained. Kidrishaha, of what nature? Kati, how many? Cha, and Agani, Ajnani, sorry. Ajnani, branches. Yataha, by which? Tattva, of the truth. Avabodhanam, understanding. Translation. The mystic yoga system, as you have explained, aims at the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is meant for completely ending material existence. Please let me know the nature of that yoga system. How many ways are there by which one can understand in truth that sublime yoga? Purport. There are different kinds of mystic yoga systems aiming for different phases of the absolute truth. The Jnana Yoga system aims at the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and the Hatha Yoga system aims at the localized personal aspect, the Paramatma feature of the absolute truth. Whereas Bhakti Yoga or devotional service, which is executed in 9 different ways, headed by hearing and chanting, aims at complete realization of the Supreme Lord. There are different methods of realization, but here Devahuti especially refers to the Bhakti Yoga system, which has already been primarily explained by the Lord. The different parts of Bhakti Yoga system are hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping the Lord in the temple, accepting service to Him, carrying out His orders, making friendship with Him, and ultimately surrendering everything for the service of the Lord. The word Nirvanatman is very significant in this verse. Unless one accepts the purpose of devotional service, one cannot end the continuation of material existence. As far as jnanis are concerned, they are interested in jnana yoga, but even if one elevates oneself after a great performance of austerity to the Brahman effulgence, there is a chance of falling down again to the material world. Therefore, Jnana Yoga does not actually end material existence. Similarly, regarding the Hatha Yoga system, which aims at the localized aspect of the Lord, Paramatma, it has been experienced that many yogis, such as Vishwamitra, fall down. But Bhakti yogis, once approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead, never come back to this material world, as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Yad gatva na nivartante. Upon going, one never comes back. Tvatva dehum punarjanma naiti. After giving up this body, he never comes back again to accept a material body. Nirvana. Nirvana does not finish the existence of the soul. The soul is ever existing. Therefore, nirvana means to end one's material existence. And to end material existence means to go back home, back to Godhead. Sometimes it is asked how the living entity falls down from the spiritual world to the material world. Here is the answer. Unless one is elevated to the Vaikuntha planet, directly in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is prone to fall down, either from the impersonal Brahman realization or from an ecstatic trance of meditation. Another word in this verse Bhagavad Bana is very significant. Bana means arrow. The Bhakti Yoga system is just like an arrow aiming up to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhakti Yoga system never urges one towards the impersonal Brahman effulgence or to the point of Paramatma realization. This Bana or arrow is so sharp and shift that it goes directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, penetrating the regions of impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma. So here the second verse purport and the translation ends. Before getting into the detail, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chashkunam Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Pauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschasya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, once again welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam class, ISKCON Seshadripuram. And today's verses are 3rd canto, 25th chapter, 28 and 29. So let us, the flow of today's session will be like this. We will try to understand the canto, the chapter, and the verses, and the details about the verses, and if time permits, little background about detailed about the yoga ladder, like that. And it's very important chapter, so I will take little time to connect with what we have discussed earlier. So, as I mentioned, this chapter has got so much, taste, because as the chapter says, the glories of devotional service. Before that, the third canto is status quo. That means government passed some amendment, and then now they are rechecking whether the amendment is going on or not, like secondary activities of the same. And this third canto being divided into 4 divisions. One is meeting of Uddhava and Vidura that we have done, and Sarga and Visarga that we have done. Pastimes of Lord Varaha, that is also we have done. Presently we are in the 4th portion, this third canto, that is appearance and teachings of Lord Kapila, and which deals about 21st chapter to 23rd chapter. Presently we are in 25th chapter. And the 24th chapter is the renunciation of Kardama Muni. We all know Kardama Muni, he renounced and he left. And the present chapter is the glories of devotional service. And basically it is a discussion between Kapila Dev and his mother Devahuti. We know Kapil Dev is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the next chapter is out of our scope, fundamental principles of material nature. So, and this 25th chapter to 30th, 3rd chapter, that means the 4th division of this canto, deals about teachings of Lord Kapila to Devahuti. After Kardama left, Kapila stayed with mother. She inquired from him. That is a little background about that. And the previous chapter, we discussed about Lord Kapila appeared in Devahuti's womb, and Brahma glorified Kardama and Devahuti. Marriage of 9 daughters. Kardama offered prayers to Kapila and renounced the world with Lord's permission. So these are the little background. And the detailed background about, before connecting to this verses, we need, little background. what we have come across like that. So initially in this chapter started with Kapila Dev establishes the need for liberation for a conditioned soul. That we have discussed in the first 5 verses. And remaining, 6 more verses, questions by Devahuti. After Kardama left, Kapila Dev stayed at Bindu Sarovar to please his mother. And then Devahuti starts to address Kapil Dev, remembering the words of Brahma. And in the remaining, another portion, 7th to 11th verse of this chapter, Devahuti questions to Kapil Dev. These questions are very amazing. It's better to, connect, better way to connect, let us recall this 7th to 11th verse before getting into 28th verse. So here, some of the glimpses are disgusted with the desire of material objects, Devahuti's prayers, which results in dark material existence. We are also in the same position. After many births today, I have attained you so that I can cross this material ocean. You have arisen like the sun to deliver persons blinded by darkness. Please dispel this illusion of mine. See the mood of Devahuti, very wonderful. It is your Maya only that has bewildered me, and so it is your duty to get me out of it. This is the mood of Devahuti to Lord Kapila Dev. I surrender to you with a desire to know about Jiva and Prakriti. She started asking questions. This chapter is all about the same. And then the another division of the 12th to 18th verse gives the detail to us. Kapila offers Adhyatmika Yoga as the solution and explain it. So this is the solution like that. Kapila Dev is giving details to his mother and devotee. And then in the up to previous verse, Kapila establishes the supremacy of bhakti over the other 2 paths. What are the other 2 paths? We will discuss in the today's verse and some more detail about, very interesting. So I would like to take another 1 minute to share this. The supremacy, that means, as mentioned in, the previous verses, mind attached to Lord leads to liberation. And the best process to attach the mind to the Lord is bhakti. And another verse we discussed about at the outset, Lord Kapila Dev makes it very clear that bhakti is the best. Right? So Sankhya philosophy. So bhakti. How to get such a bhakti? Another question is how to get such a bhakti by association of devotees. And again, question comes, how to identify such a devotee or the characteristics of such a sadhu? The such a sadhus are categorized into 2. One is secondary characteristics and another one is primary characteristics. Let us look into the secondary characteristics first. There are 2 words here. It is mentioned that Titikshva and Karunika. These are the 2 intricacies to know about who are the true Vaishnavas or elevated souls. The Titikshva means very, very tolerant. Titikshva, these are the secondary. How to identify a Vaishnava? We can assess who could be the Vaishnava like that. Titikshva and Karunika. That is the first quality or the secondary level quality. The primary level quality is how they will be. They will be always obsession in hearing and chanting. And the primary characteristics are Ananya and Dhrada Bhakti. So I am repeating the secondary qualities, Titikshava and then Karunika. The primary qualities I am repeating, Ananya and Dhrada Bhakti. So the Titikshava means so tolerant, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Trinada Pisunicha. The Titikshava, that means very, very, very tolerant. And example also here, Prabhupada gives, like Jesus Christ. Sorry, here. Just see the Christ, ideal character. Jesus, like that. And then that is the first qualification, secondary level qualification. And at the same time, Karunika. Karunika means so merciful, so compassionate, right? They are those 2 are the secondary level characteristics to identify a Vaishnava. And what are those primary characteristics of the Vaishnava? That is, they observe, their obsession is always in hearing and chanting. And this Ananya and Dhrada Bhakti. What is this Ananya? Ananya means they least bother about, this Indra, Chandra, the position of Brahma, that this prema, direct, relationship with the Lord. There is no stinge of, enjoying, using this, a bhakti yoga and enjoying, this material opulences. Not that. Ananya means only Krishna, no other deviation. That is Ananya Bhakti. And then Dhrada Bhakti. Dhrada Bhakti means what? Determined, right? No other, like whatever the situation, Hiranyakashipu is putting difficulty to Prahlad Maharaj. Determination, Dhrada Bhakti, no deviation, even in a 1 minute also. That is the very important point I felt to share, before getting into this verses. And by taking such association, one will go to Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, Prema, and these all are the byproducts or benefits to the devotees. Now we will move to the today's verse. So in today's verse, both are Devavati's questions. And in the first verse, what kind of bhakti should I perform easily attain you? She is asking what type of bhakti. And after hearing this statement, from Devavati, she is pleading, like immediately attain to the, I need how fast. Say we say now, we have to reach through Google Map. We put how to reach this particular destination and which is the shortest. There are 3-4 ways are there. Which is the easy and traffic-less process like that. Here, Mother Devavati also asking in that way to help me or to practice easily and immediately attain to the service of your lotus feet. Right? So that is the mood of Mother Devavati here. And here, the Prabhupada's explanation starts like this. This life, human life, is meant for inquiry. What is that inquiry? Brahman inquiry. Brahman. About the absolute truth. So even in this verse also, she is also asking about how to know about through devotional service about the absolute truth. So then it should starts with Atha. Prabhupada says, Atata Brahma Jignasha. Not, other cats and dogs, questions. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all these questions. So here it is a question about Atata Brahma Jignasha. So then you should approach a guru. So here, here Prabhupada gives more emphasis on guru. Then you should approach a guru. Therefore, here Devavati is accepting his or her son, exalted son, incarnation of God, Kapil Dev, inquiring from him. And then that is the Vaishnava process. What is this Vaishnava process? Vaishnava process is not to speculate oneself. One is actually inquisitive to know about the absolute truth. He must approach a bona fide spiritual master. First business is to find out Guru. No other alternative. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the present movement in this, this is the mentality. Of course, they have got some bad experience, but the process is that you must go to Guru. So there are so many Mayavadis, there are so many other speculators out there in the Kali Yuga, but the Vaishnava's prime duty is to must go to a Guru. Then we will see whether we are qualified Vaishnava or not, etc. like that. Then Prabhupada, quoting the reference of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Abhigacchati. Abhigacchati means must. There is no other alternative. One should take up this path, like how Mother Devavati is asking, how easily I can follow this. That process will be understood. That process will be assigned only by the Guru. When Prabhupada went to Western countries, always many reporters started asking, why you have chosen Western countries to spread the movement or for your preaching. Prabhupada straight away he says one answer, very straight answer. My Guru Maharaj instructed to come to Western countries to print books and spread this knowledge to all over the world. Even in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya also, it is mentioned that this knowledge should be given to Kadal Sulna Mandula. That means the land area which is covered by the ocean or a water, this knowledge should be given or to reach to each and everyone. So how to reach this? Only through Guru. So that is most important. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is quoting, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya padekshati te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. If we actually are very serious to get out of these clutches of Maya, like Devahuti, the repetition of birth, old age, and disease, and get back our original spiritual life, eternal life, na hanyate hanyamana sarira. Bhagavad Gita 2.20. That is our real identification. So na hanyate hanyamana sarira. We do not die after the annihilation of this body, but you are so dull by the influence of Maya. Death can be avoided, birth can be avoided, disease can be avoided, but you do not know you have become so dull. So for that reason, we need a Guru. But the Vedic knowledge is how to mitigate the topmost miserable condition. The topmost miserable condition is the repetition of birth, death, and old age. So, and even how to understand this, in the introduction, I said about the secondary and primary qualities about, and then here it is mentioned about the Vedic knowledge, not the speculative knowledge, and then importance of Guru. So these three things we should keep it in our mind: Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So about Guru, this sloka is emphasizing what is the mood of Devahuti, like Arjuna, right? There are many disciples. And then Sadhu. Sadhu means there are two primary qualities and two secondary qualities we have discussed. Two secondary and two. Could anyone repeat what are those two primary and secondary qualities of a true Vaishnava? How to identify? Hare Krishna. Would anybody like to volunteer? There are two secondary qualities and two primary qualities I mentioned. So I am repeating because it is important. Because we Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So this Sadhu means there are so many, understanding in the Kali Yuga. Here, this is important. The Sadhu means the secondary qualities are Titikshva, that means very tolerant, and then Karunika, very merciful. And the primary qualities, they are always in the absorption of hearing and chanting. And the primary characteristics are Ananya and Dhrada Bhakti. What is this Ananya? Ananya means there is no stinge of, extra, some mileage, So I am, we hear, like some politicians are so elevated and we hear about them. So they never use the government vehicles for their personal use. Even, I heard some of the senior contributor to the nationalism, and they say, even the candle or light also, they will not hire from a government or something. And for any fuel or any personal, government papers, bringing home and then giving, like that. There is no some mileage out of all this. That is called this Ananya. They least bother about, the position of, I am a, Brahma, I want to be a Indra, Chandra, like that. They never get into that. That is called Ananya Bhakti. Then Dhrada Bhakti, the strong determination. How Hiranyakashipu was keep on giving the trouble to Prahlad Maharaj, and how determined he is. So these are the two qualities of, or the four intricacies, details about to identify a true Vaishnava, like that. And Guru, Prabhupada is more emphasizing on, the importance of Guru here. And then, if one is interested to know that science, that it is necessary to approach just like Arjuna. Arjuna is very busy and, perturbed that he has to fight with his relatives, the other side, and they will be killed. So how then my sister-in-laws will become, widow. And then, all these things are there in his mind. The immediate material problem, but when after arguing with Krishna, he could not find out any solution. Then Arjuna submitted to Krishna, Shishyaste ham sadimam prabhu. Arpanya dosho pahata swabhava prachamitam dharma sampradacheta. So, Shishyaste ham sadimam prapanna. My dear Krishna, now I don't want to talk with you as a friend, because friendly talk, the talking will be very much, but there will be no benefit. Generally, we do so. So we talk with, some person, some friend without any duty, just to waste time. That is not the way. If you go and talk with some person, then you must derive some benefit. Gain should be there. Otherwise, simply waste of time. And it is the injection of the Shastra. We should get this, how to get into this Guru Sadhu Shastra? Only by the mercy of Lord. Unless one is submissive, the superior man should not talk. Tad vidhi pranipathena, 4.34. Unless one is submissive, you will not be able to accept the sublime instruction. This is another instruction from Srila Prabhupada. And not only that, here Prabhupada is quoting, prapanna means submissive. That is a way. So not in the challenging way. Right? So that is a point here, being emphasized. And still, you will not be, Prabhupada is mentioning, still you will not be able to understand the ultimate goal of your life. It is not possible. Therefore, all the Shastras, they advise that you go to a Guru. Guru means weighty. One who has got more weight, one who can teach you, because everyone thinks that I am learned, I am all learned. Who can teach you? No, nobody is like that. Everyone requires instruction. Therefore, the Vedic system is to make one's life fruitful. One must approach Guru. So this is the Vedic system. So without approaching a Guru, so even in Vedic system, in olden days, we know the Gurukula. The Gurukula means once the children attain some particular age, or whomever it may be, he may be a son of a great Vaishnava or a Brahmana, or he may be a son of, the king or any opulent, one may get in this life, but they should go to, the brahmachari goes to Guru, and he works like a menial servant. Again, Prabhupada is, quoting that example, the menial servant means what? Menial servant means in India, so-called, the caste system, or we say the cobbler, and, all these things. But here in Kali Yuga, all are Shudra. Though, for Guru, our mood should be like that. Any work, no, I will not do this work, I will not do that. We can see, even, we may have a choice among that. Artificially, we should not imitate. And one should, in devotional life, there is no question of, this Varnashrama system, right? There is no choice for us. Whatever Guru's instruction, we should get into. That is the importance of Guru. That should be the mood, right? And Prabhupada emphasizes in Kali Yuga, we all are having, Manda Buddhi. Manda Buddhi means we all become so dull. We are finding with, identity of I. We keep, we as the center, right? So Prabhupada is condemning, such a mood for anybody who is in this path of, learning spiritual yoga. And then instead of giving your attention in the matter of reading Vedanta Sutra, and this is a conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his guru, and there is a blame, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very learned scholar, but even though they were putting some blame on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is the answer for that? Instead of giving your attention in the matter of reading Vedanta Sutra, Sankhya philosophy, what is that you are chanting and dancing? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied that my guru found me, I am a full number 1. So his gurus found that he is a full number 1. Guru more murka deke. I am not very much learned. So he said, my guru said that you cannot read Vedanta Sutra. Actually, Vedanta Sutra, the philosophy is meant for not ordinary person. Because Kali Shudra Sambhava, in this Kali Yuga, we all are mudas, we all are fools. So the Lord, so merciful. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the part of ordinary person at the present moment. The Guru more murka deke karile sasana. That means generally people are not so learned that they can understand Vedanta Sutra. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking the part of the Murka society, so in Kali Yuga we all are Murka, the illiterate, ignorant society, illiterate means this spiritual knowledge. He said that I cannot read Vedanta Sutra. He advised me to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. And I am doing that and I am getting the result. This is the reply from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Manda means very slow or very bad. So in Kali Yuga, we all are Manda, we all are Manda, right? Very bad or very slow. Because our thought process, our thinking is within the birth, death, eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. So one should elevate to Atato Brahma Jignasha. So then one should come out from the permanent problem, which is the permanent problem, birth, death, old age, and disease. That is what Devahuti is, Mother Devahuti is asking here. So, as I mentioned, Prabhupada is quoting that example. Formerly, especially in India, the Chaturvarnya, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. So at least the most intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas, they were interested to understand Brahma Jignasha, Atato Brahma Jignasha. But at the present moment, they are all Sudras. So they have become Sudra. They are not interested about Brahma Jignasha. They are interested how to get more money, where is the cinema, where what picture is going on. They are interested in that, not about Brahma Jignasha. But the human life is meant for that purpose. Therefore, we learn from Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is personally teaching us, he is accepting Krishna as Guru. Shishyaste. Bhagavad Gita 2.7. Krishna, now I become your servant, not that I remain as your friend. Friend to friend, talk to is not very serious. Now I want to talk with serious. You become my spiritual master, you teach me, and I will take your lesson. This should be, it is not meant only for Arjuna. Prabhupada says, even for us. Guru is Krishna, the original Guru. If Krishna's representative is found, is available, then he is also Guru. This point is very important. Guru is Krishna, the original Guru. And if Krishna's representative is found, is available, then he is also Guru. So I told, the characteristics for the true sadhu. There are 4 qualities in 2 categories, secondary and primary qualities. And then para upahara. Para upahara means whole world does not know about the message of Krishna. So Vaishnava means even one step ahead of all other varnashram. Therefore, it is the greatest welfare activity to carry this message and inform them. This is the work of Krishna's representative, and any Indian can do it, but they will do it, but they will not do it. Any Indian can do it. Even in introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, who could preach this, knowledge? It is mentioned that the one who is taking birth in the region of, this Bharatvarsh, or this, India. That is a instruction given. So the one who is doing, one round chanting also can preach to another person who is not chanting. So what to speak of others? Though I may be a neophyte or, Madhyamadhikari, even Uttamadhikari. So everybody should get into this process. Not necessarily, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru was chastising, you don't know any such thing and you are spending time in this. So this Kali Yuga is, we all are Manda Buddhi. So everybody can get into this process of preaching, but with Guru's instruction. But simply hodgepodge, therefore there was no single person accepted this Vedic culture. This is the fact, right? There are so many Swamijis, going abroad, and they could not, establish, because they all are self-centered, because they all are falling from. In the next verse, we will discuss in detail about why the yogis, could not reach this absolute, truth. Why they could not spread this, the cult of, absolute truth to this entire universe. Why only Prabhupada is successful. Those details we'll discuss in the next sloka. Therefore, he began instructing, we are not this body, we are soul. Dehinosmin, yata dehe kaumaram yabbanam jara, tata dehantra praptir dhirastatrana muyati. 2.13. In this way, he gave first instruction that we are not this body. So here also Devahuti is a woman. Everyone is less intelligent before his guru. Not only women. See, this is the position of guru. Right? We Pani Prashnena Savior. We cannot go on challenging, oh my dear Guru, you know this or that. Not in that mode. Everyone is less intelligent before his Guru. Even my Siksha Guru also will emphasize on this point. Don't be so smart, with, Guru Maharaj or this. Guru Maharaj knows everything. So that should be the mood. Learned scholars of Hindus or Muslims or Christian, no. Krishna is open for everyone. Question of Krishna is open for everyone. That is what Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means what? Nobody knows, the beginning and nobody knows this, end of this. That is called Sanatana Dharma. And there is no only for this particular region. This is for only for men, only for women, only for rich people. We hear, many people immediately in the beginning stage, they will tell, yeah, this Krishna consciousness is very interesting. This knowledge should be given to the poor people and illiterate people. Not like that. Prabhupada mentions this disease is common for everybody, even for a woman, even for a so-called, literate or illiterate or so-called, Varnashrama, whatever, the caste system. But this is for everyone. How to understand this? Because the surrender is very important. Then Guru will give the instruction to the disciple like that. And then Sukshama. This is called Sukshama. The subtle body and the mind, intelligence and ego. But we do not see that mind, intelligence, ego, the soul, it is still finer. Mind is, we know that you have got mind, so etc. So Prabhupada is giving more detail about, this, senses. These all are about, our first verse. Finally, Prabhupada concludes in the first verse, because we are sinful, because we are the rascal, we do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are searching after Krishna, making speculation philosophical. Don't do that. Accept Krishna and be Krishna consciousness and be happy. So he is the topmost Guru. So here the purport of 28th verse, Prabhupada is concluding. Now we will get into the 29th verse. Before getting into the 29th verse, let me read the translation of 29th verse once again. The mystic yoga system, as you have explained, aims at the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is meant for completely ending material existence. Please let me know the nature of that yoga system. How many ways are there by which one can understand in truth that sublime yoga? So here, I'd like to share one particular, slide where we could get the full detail about, this yoga system or the yoga ladder, which is very prominent in Prabhupada's preaching. So we should know that, so like how Mother Devahuti is inquiring, we should also know this details about yoga system. I'll share this slide. I hope the slide is very, short, but so this slide name is the yoga ladder. Yoga ladder. So let us understand in detail. So just I'm zooming it. So what is the lower level? Lower level of this yoga ladder system is animal life. We know the animal life. Animal life is there is no thought process beyond eating, sleeping, mating, defending. If we are also in that mood, then we are also in that level only. Animal life. At least slight elevation to the human life. Human life means what? Karma kanda. So I should do good. I should not do bad. I do this, then I will get some benefit. So everything will be in the lower system of ladder system. What is this? Interested in satisfying material desires. So even in human life, if you are behind this karma kanda, then the least level of this yoga ladder is stuck within this material desires. And further we will move to the yoga ladder that is called karma yoga. What is this karma yoga? Accepts a transcendental goal and is known as yoga practitioner. So they start doing it, by thinking of the Lord, to attain nishkama karma yoga or karma yoga. And then one could elevate from karma yoga to jnana yoga. What is this jnana yoga position? Position to goodness, increased knowledge and detachment. From here, from jnana yoga, one can attain this Brahman realization. But if one reaches to Brahman realization, such a yogi may fall. There is no guarantee. That is a risk in Jnana Yoga. That is called Brahman. There are three realizations: Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and the ultimate is Bhagavan realization. What is this Brahman realization? In Brahman realization, we go and see the effulgence of the, this Lord. And how long we can see that effulgence? Because Lord is a person, right? But we are not understanding that we go up to this Brahman realization. Again, the fall is certain, like some yogis. And this next leads to this Ashtanga Yoga or Hatha Yoga. The purport of this 29th verse, we read that Hatha Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, right? So here, within the realm of the modes. So from this Ashtanga Yoga, one can go to the Paramatma realization. But this is also not perfect. Only with Paramatma realization, they cannot achieve the perfection. So what is the perfection in the yoga ladder? Beyond the modes. So when one could go to this beyond mode, one if getting into Bhakti Yoga. So this is the ultimate, objective of aspiring all the followers of, Prabhupada and ISKCON devotees running behind this Bhakti Yoga, not with limiting with Brahman realization and Paramatma realization. Why? How beautiful this Bhakti Yoga for to reach, this Bhagavan realization? We will see that. So what benefit? Why this is being, more emphasized? These two realization, Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, again the fall is certain. So that is the reason we should come out of that particular understanding like that. Fine. So here, the Bhakti Yoga being emphasized to Bhagavan realization. So all others are inferior. which is all other two. Here Devahuti also inquiring about those two. One is yoga and another one is jnana. So even in yoga system, that Ashtanga yoga is not perfect. Only the Bhakti yoga is perfect. Now we will get into the detail of this particular verse quickly. Now, in this 29th verse, more emphasized, Prabhupada more emphasized about very few points. Quickly, I'll try to cover it. And here it is, everyone has got some idea of God. And Vedaischa Sarver Ahameva Vedya. That is the purpose of Veda. And therefore, Krishna said, Manishyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye. That is Siddhi. Of Siddhi means perfection of life, to understand God. Because in the human life, if one tries, he can understand God, he can understand himself, he can understand what is his relationship with God, he can understand how to act in that relationship, and thus makes his life perfect. That is human life. And parallelly, keep remember that yoga ladder system, which we have discussed just now. And then Prabhupada more emphasizing about these three divisions of this bhakti process. But it is compared with Anandyam Buddhi. What is this Anandam Buddhi? The ocean of bliss, increasing Vardhanam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. The more you enter into the spiritual bliss, the more you become joyful. That is spiritual. Spiritual, just like these boys, these girls, they are chanting Hare Krishna. Had it been hackneyed, how long they would have chanted? No. That is not possible. That is not possible unless it is spiritual. Nobody can be satisfied simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You take any other word, Mr. John, how long you will chant? After chanting for half an hour, you will be fed up. But this Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, the more you chant, the more you become spiritually advanced. This is called Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Otherwise, how one can be satisfied simply by chanting Hare Krishna? They are not mad. They are not foolish. They are human beings. And how they have given up everything simply by chanting, if it is not Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, if it is not increasing in spiritual blissfulness, practical, they have forgotten everything. They are so young men. They don't go to cinema. Just one block after there is a cinema, they will never go, giving up this chanting and go to the cinema. Don't you see the practically? That is what the pure devotees qualities, as I mentioned. So understanding of Bhagavan means understand of Brahman and Paramatma. That means one is a crorepati, already he has become a lakpati and other richness. But if one wants 500, already he is owning hundreds and 50s, like that. But understanding of Brahman or Paramatma is not understanding Bhagavan. But Bhagavan understanding is already inclusive of Brahman and Paramatma understanding. That is the more intricacies in this. And Prabhupada giving further details. Manushyana Sahasreshu. We have to understand Krishna in truth, otherwise we will be bewildered. And for that reason, you have to hear from Krishna or his representative, like previous sloka, to understand Krishna, otherwise you will also be bewildered. So Prabhupada is warning us, Krishna is warning us. Buddhi Yoga means Bhakti Yoga, is not for the foolish person. So Prabhupada is concluding here, you, somehow or other, take to Krishna consciousness, engage yourself in devotional service under the direction of Shastra and the spiritual master, then you will understand Krishna and then your life is perfect. What is the conclusion of these two slokas is all about? The first sloka emphasizes about how important the Guru is, And Prabhupada is emphasizing. And in the second sloka, don't get into or deviate into the process which is away from the Shastra, which is away from Krishna, which is away from Sadhu. So the ultimate, our objective is to stick on with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So this is the quick summary of today's two verses about inquiry from Mother Devahuti and Lord Kapiladev. So I'd like to express my gratitude to temple authorities, my Siksha group, for giving me this opportunity, though I am nowhere qualified among the learned Vaishnavas. So once again, thanks for the opportunity. Hare Krishna. If there are any queries, you are most welcome. Otherwise, we can end here. Hare Krishna. If there are no questions, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We'll end the session here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.